Manchester City's £12.5 million star of the future might finally get what he needs. We're very excited. Serjio Nipan completed a season-long loan move from Manchester City to Middlesbrough in the summer, but he's experienced a stop-start campaign thus far. When Serjio Nipan sealed a loan switch to Middlesbrough in the summer transfer window, Rob Edwards couldn't quite believe his luck at having landed such a talented prospect. The former Boro coach talked of a really talented youngster who he was very excited to have at the club, predicting the Manchester City loanee would slot in nicely at the Riverside. Such talk was vindicated early on in his Teesside stay. Preconceptions are bound to be formed when an exciting youngster drops down from one of the Premier League's big boys into the Championship, but Nipan proved he was up for the battle of the second tier. The 18-year-old's industry and work off the ball instantly stood out, and when he delivered a moment of magic late on in a draw at Preston, it was clear why City had forked out £12.5 million on a player even most football hipsters weren't aware of. The aforementioned moment of magic at Deepdale looked set to be the springboard for Nipan's loan spell. But since then, things haven't quite gone as hoped. Nipan has found himself on the fringes of first-team action, with just 3 starts from a possible 13. While there have been glimmers of promise from the youngster, an ever-changing Boro frontline has meant Nipan has struggled to gel with his teammates, and it's evident his progress on Teesside has been stunted by a lack of understanding of his fellow forward players' game. Boro's solid start to the season has been built more on defensive solidity than free-flowing attacking play, with only 2 clubs in the top 11 scoring fewer than Boro's 19 goals. Edwards struggled to settle on a preferred frontline during his time at the club, but his recent departure could prove to be the fillip. Nipan's loan stint requires. The promotion chasers are on the hunt for a new boss, with Adi Vivesh currently at the helm on an interim basis. Carlos Corberan and Steven Gerrard have both been mooted as possible replacements for Edwards, and until a permanent head coach is appointed, it's difficult to know how Nipan's temporary move away will pan out. But the constant chopping and changing under Edwards evidently had a detrimental effect on Boro's attacking play, with no forward scoring more than twice in the league so far. Structure and consistency are key factors in the success of any team, and no player needs them more than a young man looking to adapt to a new team and a new lifestyle in a foreign country. It's not been an easy few months for Nipan at Middlesbrough, but hopefully a new coach can bring a more settled look to Boro's starting lineup and allow the City youngster to build a relationship with his teammates. City have undoubtedly got a talented player on their hands. He just needs the right environment to be able to flourish. Erling Haaland has beaten Manchester City teammate Gianluigi Donnarumma to achievement they both deserve. Manchester City teammates Erling Haaland and Gianluigi Donnarumma will go head-to-head in the San Siro on Sunday night. It hasn't taken long for Gianluigi Donnarumma and Erling Haaland to develop a budding bromance as Manchester City teammates, but they will try and keep the smiles to a minimum when they face off for their countries tonight. At least Donnarumma will, anyway. As captains of Italy and Norway respectively, they will come face-to-face before kick-off in the San Siro, and Haaland, not exactly a shrinking violet at the tensest of times, will have every reason to crack a smile. Norway's 4-1 win against Estonia on Thursday night means they only have to avoid a 9-goal defeat to Italy in Milan to book their place in next summer's World Cup. I think we can safely say that it's job done, and a first World Cup appearance in 28 years beckons Haaland will still be desperate to find the back of the net against his new club teammate, even if the two have built on a friendship they had before Donnarumma's move to the Etihad. Aside from being a fantastic player, one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, he's a fantastic person as well, Donnarumma said of Haaland. That's what makes him better. I've got an incredible relationship with him. He immediately welcomed me. Haaland has a mind-blowing 14 goals in 7 games in World Cup qualifying, double the next best individually tally on the continent. Norway have won all 7 games and will want to make it a perfect 8 against an Italy side, beaten 3-0 in Oslo in June. Gennaro Gattuso is starting to feel the pressure after 2 late goals avoided a humbling draw in Moldova this week. It condemns Italy to another playoff, and there will be tension next March, especially if they are beaten at home by Norway on Sunday night, leading to more soul-searching and more question marks for Gattuso, who replaced Luciano Spalletti, who was sacked after the first defeat to Norway. The playoff format consists of a single-leg semi-final and a single-leg final, so there is no margin for error. Italy's failure to qualify for the previous 2 World Cups will make those fixtures a nerve-shredding occasion for the country. Haaland's goals have propelled him to his first World Cup, and he will want to leave his mark at the San Siro. Now, Donnarumma is a year older and plays for a country with a much bigger footballing pedigree, but like his friend, he has never played at a World Cup. He was 15 the last time Italy made it to a World Cup, in 2014, and the prospect of the Azzurri missing 3 in a row is almost unthinkable, especially as they have been champions of Europe in that time. Donnarumma played a big part in that triumph at Wembley in 2021. He has since added a Champions League title to his CV, but an appearance at a World Cup is what's missing. If Italy somehow conspire to make a mess of the playoffs again, then he will be 31 by the time the next World Cup comes around. He would likely have more than 100 Italy caps without playing in a World Cup. More than most in that squad, he deserves to grace the biggest international stage, just as Haaland did with Norway. You can be sure Haaland will want to score past Donnarumma on Sunday night. Then he will be desperate that the goalkeeper books his own World Cup place next March. Manchester City's £80 million midfield transfer was days away when FA stepped in. Manchester City tried to sign Lucas Paquetá from West Ham in 2023, but the move collapsed when the midfielder was charged by the FA. Lucas Paquetá has revealed he was days away from signing for Manchester City when he was charged by the Football Association with betting offences. The Blues targeted the Brazilian midfielder during the summer window of 2023, and an £80 million switch from West Ham United had been lined up. That transfer was scuppered when Paquetá was charged by the FA, and he remained with the Hammers while his case was heard. Paquetá was cleared of spot-fixing charges by an independent commission earlier this year, and although he was found to have breached minor charges relating to cooperation with the investigation, he faced no sanction. Now 28, he is impressing again in midfield for West Ham this season, and has been open about his desire to leave the London Stadium for a new challenge. But the door on a move to the Etihad has been closed. Paquetá has revealed that the anguish on missing out on a transfer that was almost complete caused him plenty of pain. "Everyone knows that I really had a transfer to City," Paquetá told Globo. "I probably would have signed the week I received the letter from the FA. Professionally speaking, I lost that transfer, a leap in my career. Psychologically, I think that's where I was most affected, by the fear of this indecision, the uncertainty of my future, despite knowing who I am, what I do, what I've done. But, due to the circumstances of the investigations and the way the Federation handled everything, it generated fear in us. Paquetá is likely to leave West Ham at the end of this season, and revealed he had twice been approached about a return to boyhood club Flamengo. The first moment was when Marcos Braz was still at Flamengo. There was that contact, he said. I know of Flamengo's desire, and they know of my desire, my passion for the club, so it's something that always happens. As soon as I was accused and the whole trial process was about to begin, Braz came to my house, made the offer, and asked what I thought. Obviously, I always want to go back to Flamengo, but at that moment I was still a bit undecided about my decision, about what I was going to do. And then I also talked to the West Ham director and said, Braz, I want to go back. I know I'll feel good at Flamengo, but I can't be ungrateful to the club that's supporting me so much. They supported me a lot at all times, helped me in various situations, so I couldn't force an exit from a place where I was being welcomed and respected. They respected me, my wife, my family. So I said, I want you to resolve this. But yes, this exchange with Flamengo did happen. Manchester City annoyed by lone nightmare, with situation about to come to a head. Claudio Echeverri joined Bayer Leverkusen on a season-long loan deal, but the Manchester City youngster is struggling for playing time in Germany. As is protocol on Champions League match days, Manchester City executives are likely to host their Bayer Leverkusen counterparts for lunch ahead of the meeting between the two clubs at the Etihad in 10 days' time. There will no doubt be plenty to discuss on the day, but it seems a certainty that the future of Claudio Echeverri will come up as both sides try to reach a compromise over the Argentine. What sort of role Echeverri plays at the Etihad a few hours later might also come into the thinking ahead of the January transfer window, and what is likely to be crunch time over the 19-year-old's short-term future. German newspaper Bild this weekend reported that City are annoyed and frustrated at Echeverri's lack of playing time. Discussions between the two clubs to find a solution are likely to take place, with the option of cutting the loan short in January. Echeverri has managed just 240 minutes of football in the Bundesliga and Champions League so far. This season he has started just once in the Bundesliga, which came against Bayern Munich 2 weeks ago. He lasted 56 minutes and returned to the bench a week later against Heidenheim. That was the fourth time in the previous 5 games that he had been an unused substitute. The picture is only marginally better in the Champions League, where Echeverri has at least managed to play in all 4 games. He has started the last 2 games against Paris Saint-Germain and Benfica, but was substituted at half-time against PSG. With his side already 4-1 down, they would lose 7-2, and lasted only 57 minutes against the Portuguese side. That is the longest spell he has had on a pitch in 8 games, which hardly suggests he is winning over new coach Kasper Hjulmand. Echeverri joined the club when Erik ten Hag was in charge, but he lasted 2 games before being sacked. Sporting director Simon Rolfs pushed the move for the City